Hey, what's going on everyone? So I got a pretty exciting video for you guys today. If you guys seen my Instagram live that I did after I unboxed this thing, you'll know that I was really surprised that this bike came with a 750 watt motor and hydraulic disc brakes for a $1,200 price point as of me currently filming this video. Most of the time, bikes don't come with hydraulic brakes until you get up until around the $1,500 range. So for this thing to have hydraulic brakes, a 750 watt motor with 4-inch fat tires and a front suspension, that's pretty good in my opinion, and I don't know how long that price is gonna last. I'll leave a link down below in the description. It will be an affiliate link for this bike if you guys are interested in seeing more specs or details or picking one of these up. And I did rally to get a coupon code like I always do for you guys to save a few bucks. However, they couldn't provide me with one because they said the price was already so low on this model. So let's get into the video. First, we're gonna go over all the specs and details of this bike up close. Then we're gonna hop on it, put it to the test, and check out the speed, the performance on this bike, see exactly how much power it has compared to the Lectric Xp that it looks very similar to. So let's get into it, guys. And if you find this video helpful or informative, please make sure you guys subscribe and click that bell so you can see more videos like this in the future. So up here on the handlebars, you have a really nice set of rubber hand grips that have locking mechanisms on both sides to keep them really nice and secure so they don't spin. Next to that, you have a thumb throttle, and underneath the thumb throttle, you have a button for a horn. You have your control pad next to that for controlling your pedal assist levels up and down. And you can set your pedal assist levels from 0 to 3 all the way up to 0 to 9. And you can also change the power of each one of those levels to accommodate your riding style. Over here on the right hand side, we have a 7-speed Shimano thumb shifter, which leads down to the 14 to 28 freewheel in the back. Coming up the chain, we have a 48 tooth chainring in the front and a set of Welgo folding aluminum pedals. Now for the exciting part, this bike comes with a set of Disland hydraulic disc brakes leading down to a set of 160 millimeter rotors on both the front and the rear of the bike. For power, this bike's using a 10.4 amp hour lithium ion battery and a 20 amp controller to power the 750 watt hub motor in the rear of the bike. And I gotta tell you guys, for my first impressions, this bike definitely has more power than a 500 watt motor. Coming down the front of the bike, you have an adjustable stem leading down to the front suspension with a lockout on the right hand side and a preload adjuster on the left. For safety, this bike's using a pretty nice, pretty bright headlight on the front that has the built-in horn like some of my other e-bikes. And on the rear of the bike, it has a nice tail light that actually acts as a brake light whenever you pull the brake lever. This brand new 2022 T42 also comes with full front fender and a full rear fender for keeping you dry in wet situations, which is an upgrade of their previous model. And it also comes with a really nice heavy duty rack in the back. The only downfall that I see to this, I would have liked to have seen an aluminum rack instead of steel. Now this one's gonna be really strong and heavy duty, but it does add a few extra pounds to the bike, making the bike 66 pounds total with the battery installed. This bike's sitting on a pair of 20 by 4-inch fat tires that are branded WD. They do have a pretty nice aggressive tread and give the bike a nice look, as well as offering you a little bit of suspension if you lower the tire pressure slightly in the rear. Now this bike does not include a suspension in the rear, but you can add an optional suspension seat post. I really highly recommend the Red Shift seat post. It's going to be a little bit expensive for some people, so as another option, you can use the Zoom suspension seat post, and I'll leave links below to all that, as well as all my other e-bike accessories, including phone mounts, alarms, everything you need for your e-bike that I have used and recommend. And a lot of you don't know how to open up the description of a video. I get asked that all the time on how do you see the links. There's just a little arrow next to the video title. You click on that and it opens the full description of the video with all the links and everything about the video down below. Oh, and I made 2 accessory videos in the past. I'm gonna probably be making another one here to update it in the future, but make sure you guys check out those videos as well after watching this one if you're interested in any accessories. Oh, and I almost forgot, if you do upgrade to a suspension seat post in this bike, you're gonna need a 33.9 millimeter shim to go in that tube, because that's what size seat post it uses. So whether you use a 27.2 millimeter post like the Red Shift or a 31.6 millimeter tube like the Zoom, make sure you get the correct shim to go with it, which I'll leave down below as well. The minimum seat height on this bike is 31 3/4 of an inch, and the maximum seat height is 45 inches. And this bike also has cruise control, and it's super easy to activate. So to activate it, all you do is hold down the plus button, and you'll see right next to the trip that a little heart will pop up. When that heart's on there, it means your cruise control is activated, and all you have to do is hold the throttle steady for about 5 seconds for it to enable the cruise control. So about 5 seconds later, you let off, and you could see that the cruise control is enabled. Now what's nice is you could shift through all the different pedal assist levels 1 through 5, and it stays at your cruise control, and you can use your pedal assist like normal. To disable the cruise control, all you have to do is either pull a brake lever, hit the throttle, or put it down into pedal assist 0, and it will disable it. And it also has a walk mode by just holding down the down button, and you can see there's a little guy on a bicycle that pops up, and that is your walk mode in case you had to walk the bike up a steep hill. So very easy, convenient, and really nice to have. All right guys, so whenever I get these bikes, I go on their website usually and check out all the specs and features on there to learn about the bike, and also to make sure that their advertising matches what you actually get on the bike. And one thing I want to mention before we get into the testing, I found out that the pictures and stuff on their website aren't 100% currently accurate. Like the branding on the disc brakes were different on their webpage, and the battery picture looked different. So it can be a little bit confusing, and I do recommend that you guys make sure you check and see what specs and features you're going to get on your bike when ordering one, if you do decide this is the bike for you, especially if watching this video way further down the road than when I posted it, which is currently April of 2022. Of course, somebody's going to call me right now. But yeah, anyway guys, make sure you check out what you're getting, because a lot of these companies will upgrade their bikes all the time. They could upgrade it again and it come with different features and specs. So just make sure, maybe send them an email and ask them if you're concerned about anything. But as of now, even with the pictures and stuff being different, I'm very surprised, because the hydraulic brakes on this bike are really nice. And when they were on the Tesco bike that I reviewed, it's the same brakes that are on that more expensive bike, and I really like them a lot. So without further ado guys, this is actually what you all been waiting for. So let's get into the testing and see how this bike performs. All right, so now we're going to test out the power of the brand new 2022 G-Force T42. Now their previous models were advertised as having a 500 watt motor. This model is advertised as 750, so we're going to put it to the test up this hill like I do with all my e-bikes, and see how much power this thing has throttle only going up this hill, and if I can make it to the top, because with 750 watts I should be able to make it completely up. But first I want to get a baseline on the Lectric Xp, the original version, which has a 500 watt motor, because this bike is super popular. So let's take it up here first. I got a full charge here, I'm at 54 volts, and we're going to compare the G-Force to this to make sure that the G-Force has a 750 watt motor. Let's go, throttle only, I'm in pedal assist 5. We're going to see how far throttle takes me first and see what kind of speed we can maintain. .11 miles per hour at the end of the guardrail. Slowing down here to about 7, 6, 5. And normally I would start pedaling right now, because yeah, it's really struggling. 3. Struggling pretty good here. So 3 miles per hour to this tree right here, and it was struggling pretty good. I would have normally started pedaling way before this to make it up the rest of this hill. Now with a little bit of effort, it would have took me up this no problem, but that's the power of the original Lectric XP or the XP 2.0. All right, so now that we've seen the original Lectric XP's power, let's put this thing to the test and see if it has enough power to take me to the top of this hill with throttle only. Okay, so this is going to be a little awkward because the throttle's on the left-hand side on this bike, but we're going to see what kind of power this thing has. End of the guardrail, 11 miles per hour. Motor sounds pretty good, down to 7. At this point I was down to about 3 on the Lectric. Past that tree, no problem, still holding 7 miles per hour. So never dropped below 7 miles per hour, and it pulled me all the way to the top. I think this bike is definitely 750 watt, because it pulled me up there no problem. And I'm about 160 to 165 pounds in this test. So now let's take this thing on a long ride and see how it performs overall on a long trip, including the max speed. All right guys, so let's check out the pedal assist levels of this bike. Right now I'm in pedal assist 1, and it is at 8 miles an hour. Now one thing I want to mention, when I first got this bike, it was only set to 3 pedal assist levels. I did change that to 5, and I also changed like I said before, you can go in and change each setting for whatever you want. So if you want it to go faster or slower, and the way I have mine set is 30% on level 1, 50% on level 2, 70% on 3, 85 on 4, and 100 on 5. So like I said, you can go in and change those for different speeds according to how fast or how much power you want in each level, which is really nice on these bikes. I love that you can do that, so you can adjust the speed to ride with other people if they have a different brand bike, or maybe a non-electric bike and you need your pedal assist level 1 to go a certain speed. You can do that on here. 20 miles per hour, hitting the brakes, stopping me really well. No squeaks, no squeals, very minimal pull on the brake levers. One finger here with the hydraulic brakes. That's what's nice about hydraulics. Now, non-hydraulic brakes work fine most of the time. The big difference is you're gonna have to pull them a lot harder to stop. These are very minimal effort and very minimal squeaks and squeals, so very nice on the braking system on this bike. All right, so now we're in level 2, 14 miles per hour, pedal assist level 3, $19 miles per hour, pedal assist level 4, and at this point I feel like I'm just pedaling air. 22. Now we're going downhill slightly, so we're gonna have to continue this once we get up here onto a further straight stretch. But I have a feeling that this bike's gonna be pretty fast, guys. So far, really nice power. Putting in very minimal effort right here going up this slight incline. And I'm only in pedal assist 4, maintaining easily 18 to 19 mile an hour. All right, this is a little bit of a straighter stretch. We're in pedal assist 4, easily able to maintain 21 miles per hour. And then when we get down on a longer straight stretch, we'll check out the max speed of this bike on both throttle and pedal assist. And one thing I'm noticing, that this motor is really quiet. Very nice. I think one thing that would really make this bike nice, and I'll probably be upgrading in the future, would be a 11 to 28 freewheel, so that you don't have as much basically ghost pedaling when you're at higher speeds. And if you guys want to see a video of exactly how to do that, I made a video on the original Lectric Xp of how I changed that, and it should be very, very similar on this bike as to how to do that. So I'll leave links below down in the video as well for the freewheel and the tool that you need and everything. And I really highly recommend, if you do want to do that, to make sure you check out my upgrade video and to see why you would want to upgrade that if you like traveling at higher speeds. Brake test again. When I get to the bottom of this hill, it's pretty steep. Let's see if I can stop with just using the back brakes on this bike. A lot of times when I'm coming down here with mechanical disc brakes, I need to use both brakes because I just can't stop at the stop sign usually with just one hand. Perfect, guys. Now, it did say something on their website about having ABS brakes, which I'm assuming they don't lock up if you pull them really hard, but I'm able to still lock them up. Yeah, the front suspension's really nice on this, guys. And the seat's actually not bad either. The seat's really pretty soft. Let's try a little bit off-road. Oh, it is pretty muddy because it just rained. I don't know if I want to go down here. Oh, it's not, it doesn't look too bad. This is the little trail I usually take, one-handed. Nice, not too muddy. Very easy though. Let's see how easy it goes back up there with just throttle. Oh man, right up it, no problem, just throttle. right guys, so I've seen this little off-road trail. Let's see where this goes. I've actually never been up here before, but a little bit of an off-road test here. And I'm not using any throttle. This is just pedal assist because the throttle's on the left-hand side and I'm holding the GoPro with my left hand like I normally do, like I'm used to doing. So we're gonna see how this bike performs going up here. I'm in gear 4, pedal assist 5, and I'm barely putting any effort into it. As you can see, I'm holding the GoPro with one hand, so holding the handlebars with one hand. This should put a pretty good test going up this gravel road here. Oh yeah, right up it. And I can actually downshift a few gears if I needed to. No problem, very minimal effort. This is where these fat tires are nice for these big rocky situations like this. But performed really well, especially coming up that hill one-handed there. No problems at all. All right guys, so now we're gonna see how fast this bike is. Pretty straight stretch here. We're gonna do throttle only first. 22, 23, 24. So it's looking like about, oh, there's 25. So 24 to 25 miles per hour throttle only on a straight stretch. So let's try pedal assist now. I'm gonna let off the throttle and just ghost pedal because there's no way I'm gonna keep up with these pedals. That's if I try to keep up. I mean, you can, but I feel like that 11 to 28 freewheel would be a lot better on this bike. So it's looking like 25 miles per hour pretty easily with just pedal assist, and this bike is set to go as fast as it can. Now, I don't know if I lower the tire size down, if it would make any difference, because right now we went 4.4 miles and on the bike it says 4.7, so I might try to lower the tire size down on the bike. Maybe it'll make it go a little faster. So let me stop and try that here. And to change the tire size, pretty easy. You just go into your system settings by holding the plus and minus. Then you hold the bottom button and the top menu button. And then that gets you into your tire size. I don't know if you guys can see this with this GoPro or not. But gonna go into there and let's change it to 20 inch just to see if it makes any difference. So now let's go back the other way, being that that was pretty straight down here, pretty level. Now it does look like it changed the speed on the bike, but it doesn't look like it changed the speed overall. Actually, I'm going a little slower, but I think I have a headwind coming this way. So let's try back this way again. So right around 24 to 25 miles per hour max speed. And this bike did come on the highest setting for speed limit right out of the box. All right, I'm gonna try something a little bit different. Something a little crazy. Let's try to see if we can go up this. Now I'm in pedal assist 5, gear 1. Whoa, the front wheel's coming off the ground. That's how steep this is, guys. Pull me up really easily. Brakes are pretty good too. All right, I had to see how steep this was. This is a 27-degree grade here on this, coming up this. And I was able to make it up that with just pedaling, but it's pretty freaking steep, guys. The front end was even coming up as I was coming up it. Very impressive with the power coming out of that bike. I would say it's definitely 750 watts. So one thing about this bike is it picks up very nice and gradually. It doesn't throw you back. Right now I'm in pedal assist 5, just using throttle. You can hear the motor and see the pickup that it just picks up very gradually. Now you might be able to change this in the settings to get a quicker, torquier start, but in my opinion, I really like it the way it is, so I'm not even gonna change it. Suspension test. Oh yeah, definitely need to put a suspension seat post in this bike. Front suspension though is not too bad, pretty good. And I can actually let some of the air out of my tires. What's crazy that I didn't mention and I forgot earlier is when I got this bike, I told my son to air up the tires. He hooked up the tire gauge and he was like, "Dad, there's 52 pounds of pressure in that tire." I was like, "There ain't no way." And sure enough, there was in the front tire. It came with 52 pounds of pressure. The back had 32. So make sure you guys check the tire pressures before you ride the bike, because they shouldn't be over 20 pounds in these 4-inch fat tires. Not sure why they were so overinflated. Maybe they were to protect it maybe during shipping, but I'm surprised they weren't blowing out at that pressure. All right, so we're about to go up one of the steepest hills in my town. Right now, I'm at 2 battery bars. I went 7.7 miles on this trip, but I had about a mile on the bike before that that I didn't track with this when I was doing some other testing before I started this app here to track my miles. So we're about 8.7 miles into it. Hey, Rabina Sims liked the message on Instagram. Told you I was filming a bike currently. But anyway, so if you're watching this video, thanks for supporting me on Instagram. And if you guys haven't followed me on Instagram yet, make sure you guys go and follow me so you could see previews and things like that. So let's see if we can get up this hill easily, guys. And right now I'm in gear 5. I could downshift and give it a little bit better mechanical advantage. I'm barely putting any effort into this point. Let's downshift into maybe 3rd, 2nd. Let's go into 1st. Very minimal effort, and it's pulling me right up very easily. No problems, one-handed. And that 48 tooth chain ring on the front is going to help you get a little bit better of a mechanical advantage coming uphill. So that's nice. You just lose a little bit on your top speed as far as ghost pedaling. And that's why the 11 to 28 I think would be pretty nice on this bike. So I got one more hill to go up, one long hill before I get to my house. See you guys when I get to that. All right guys, here we are. Last long hill before my house. We're gonna see how it does up this. Better make sure they're both recording, because last time I only had one GoPro recording coming up this hill. So far so good. I'm down to 1 battery bar with a load on it. We are 10 miles into this trip, and I did not baby this bike whatsoever. I was in pedal assist 5 the whole time, going up those steep hills, going pretty much max speed the entire time of this trip. So we'll see how the battery level is once we get back. I don't know what they have these bars programmed at though. You can go in and change what each bar reads. That would have been nice if they would have gave you a percentage, because whenever you turn the display on, it does show you, like, real quickly, everything lights up and shows you a percentage. But as far as I know, I don't know how to program it to show you that instead of the battery bars. If anybody knows on this style display, please comment below and let us all know how you can display percentage, because I really like when you can read them accurately. So I'm starting to feel the pedals a little bit right now. Overall though, pretty easy walking up that hill, no problem. 5th gear, pedal assist 5, not using the throttle because again, like I said, it's on the left hand side here, but no problem, right up it. Very nice, guys, very good power. All right, so we're back to the first hill that I went up initially at the beginning of this video, down to 1 bar. So now we're gonna see how far we can make it with just throttle going up this hill. So down to 1 battery bar after about 11, almost 11 miles, and starting to struggle a little bit, down to 5 miles per hour, but it's still pulling me up. And right here is how far I made it with the Lectric, and it's still pulling me up, guys, no problem. Didn't sound like the motor was straining at all. It did slow down a good bit there, but it didn't sound like it was straining whatsoever. So even after about 11 miles on this trip, it still pulled me up that hill with just throttle only and no pedaling. Pretty awesome, guys. All right, guys, so I made it back home. The bike performed really well. In fact, had plenty of power to pull me up that last hill throttle only after all this. But I'm gonna throw a voltmeter on here real quick and see exactly what voltage the battery's at. All right, so we're still at 46.6 volts on the battery. All right, so 46.6 volts is still somewhere around 45% battery life left. And actually, now that I've come to a stop, the battery level is back up to 3 bars. So on this trip, we went 11.25 miles because remember, I had 1 mile on there when I started this trip. So overall, pretty decent, about what I expected in battery life, but I did put this battery through a pretty good hurting it, taking it up that big ramp underneath that bridge, up that gravel road, and a few of those hills. So definitely put a hurting on this battery. So overall, guys, I'm pretty happy with this bike, and I think it's an excellent deal for $1,200 to get the hydraulic brakes, the 750 watt motor, the 4-inch fat tires. And now that the bike comes with full fenders and a rear rack, it's a pretty good deal in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think down below. And if you're interested in one of these, like I said, I'll put links down below in the description for you guys to use. I will make a small commission, like I said, if you use those. And if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please check out some of my other ones and consider subscribing. And hit that bell notification so that you get notified of any future videos. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, where you can see previews about bikes, scooters, and just random things throughout the day that I find interesting. Thanks for watching, everyone.